Hey, super awesome listeners. Jenn returns with new episodes of What Are You Listening To on August 19th. But this week, we wanted to run Jenn's conversation with Pat Popovich from February of 2023. Pat passed away suddenly in June. Pat lived life to the fullest and was a great storyteller and music lover. We're honored that we get to have Pat on the show. Please enjoy this episode in loving memory of Pat.
Hey, Pat.
Hey, Jenn.
What are you listening to this week? Welcome to What Are You Listening To? The weekly podcast created to share music and foster positive connections, one song at a time. Some of the songs are old, some new, all good. I'm Jenn Tully, and this week I'm joined by Pat Popovich. Pat is a septuagenarian music lover who believes in living life to the fullest and never shying away from a chance at adventure. We'll learn more about Pat, her journey, and her philosophy on living a full life in between the music. Also, did you know that now on Spotify, you can listen to the show with the songs we discuss incorporated? Just search for What Are You Listening To with Music. If you're not listening on Spotify, be sure to give the playlist a listen and then tune into our conversation. With that, let's get started. Pat, what are you listening to this week?
Well, I like to listen to the Mavericks, and my song today, featuring Raul Malo, is I Just Want to Dance the Night Away.
Fantastic. What a perfect way to kick the show off, Pat. I love this song. I love the Mavericks. And so when I saw this was one of your picks, I got so excited. And I think partially like this song from the very first note, this song sounds like a celebration, right? Those horns come in and it just immediately puts a smile on my face. Tell me about this song and why you picked this one.
Yes, exactly. I've been listening to the Mavericks for years, since they first came out back in the late 80s and 90s. And then they were gone for a little while. And now that I've been living here in Austin since '02, they show up in town every now and then, ACL, Saxon Pub. And I was just like, wow, I love the music. I love the horns. Raul Malo's voice is amazing. And you just get happy and you want to dance and you want to have a good time.
Exactly. And I made the same note about Raul Malo's voice. I've always loved his voice. And for me, that's such a big part of any song. You know, if I'm not attracted or the lead singer's voice isn't pleasing, I have a hard time listening. Or if there's not like something that's unique or different about it. I mean, I can think of like a Bob Dylan who maybe doesn't have a great voice, but I still love listening to his music. But Raul Malo is one of those that his voice is just so pleasing and so inviting that you almost can't help. It's infectious, right? I love that about his voice.
Yes, and it reminds me too of some of the songs that he sings. It's just like Roy Orbison. So it has that soft, mellow, smooth beside his Latin tones and so forth. You know, it just, I really like him. And I've seen him a bunch here in Austin. So that really helps too.
Yeah, well, and this song, that was another note that I made, that this song is, it just reminds me of home instantly. You know, that growing up in Texas, you heard a lot of, I did, you hear a lot of Tejano music. You hear a lot of music that's influenced by, old mariachi. You get like, even in Texas swing, you know, you get the horn. Sometimes you get the accordion. You get all kinds of, you get like all kinds of really wonderful instruments that anytime I hear, it instantly takes me back to growing up in Texas. And I also too, I love the message of this song. You know, I think you called out some lyrics. I just want to dance the night away with senoritas who can sway. Right now, tomorrow's looking bright, just like the sunny morning light. And if you should see her, please let her know that I'm well, as you can tell. And if she should tell you that she wants me back, tell her no, I gotta go. I mean,
exactly.
Right? I mean, that's kind of like a looking out for number one song, right? In the most friendly way. Like, look, I'm here to party. You had your chance, you passed, and now I'm moving on. There's too much fun to be had. Is that right? Do you kind of get that from the song as well?
Yeah, and in a polite way, like, yep, we
Yeah.
were there, but I'm not here for you anymore. But I'm tomorrow's looking bright. That's what I like the message from songs, and as I know this will come to, it's all about the lyric, right, Jen?
Yeah, it is for me. You know, Pat, that's what I love to talk about more than anything.
Yep, yep. So,
And I think it's because there is so much like inspiration and feeling and emotion to be had there. And I think that your second pick is such a brilliant example of the kind of emotion that can be brought out in a song. Tell me what your second song was, Pat.
well, my second song is by Journey, and it features Steve Perry, of course, and it's "Don't Stop Believin'."
Yeah. I mean, what can we say about the song that hasn't already been said? It's just a classic and it always will be.
Yes.
I think that it's just definitive. Like you cannot get away from the magic that this song produces. And once again, from the very beginning, right? From that very first time, like the first keyboard
Yes.
note you hear, you almost know that you're in for. I mean, at this point, the song's so recognizable that you know what the song is. But I feel like I'm trying to remember back, you know, oftentimes there's that trivia question about if you could rehear a song for the first time and sort of experience it, feel it for the first time all over again, what song would you pick? And I feel like this one's always high on my list because you can, from that very first keyboard solo section that lasts for a little while. I think it's almost 20 seconds before you like get into the song. This sets you up that you're going to be building to something pretty magical.
Yes, yes, for sure. And I remember not exactly the first time I heard the song, but when I would hear the song on the radio when it first came out, I would look at the radio and turn it up and just start singing away with it because, again, a message. Don't stop believing. Just keep on going. And if you're born to sing the blues, whoa, but the movie never ends. Sometimes you'll win, sometimes you'll lose, but keep on going. Don't stop believing.
Yes. Yeah. And I love in the song, I love that you called out that section of lyrics. And I love the choice that Steve Perry or the band collectively, maybe whoever, the way they do, it goes on and on and on and on and on. You know, the way they phrase that lyric, the way they set it up musically, like it does, it makes you remember like this could keep happening all throughout
And
your
it
life.
does.
Like this, and it does. And that's, you know, that's one of the reasons I was so excited to have you on the show, Pat, is that you were one of those people that I met and instantly like you had a story for everything.
Yeah.
Like somebody could bring up like, oh, I remember this thing. And you're like, oh, I was there. You have a great story. And I hope you won't mind sharing it on the show, but you have a great story about being in downtown Austin. And I believe this is how it goes. There was somebody wearing a Jimi Hendrix concert t-shirt. Will you share this story? Because I love it so much.
Yes, it was fantastic. It was after we had met and I had briefly told you some stories about live concerts I'd been back to in the 60s.
Yeah.
And one of them was Jimi Hendrix. And I saw Jimi Hendrix at the Hollywood Bowl. I think he was with the Mamas and the Papas. I didn't research that, but it was always a few bands that were playing. And it was fantastic. Okay. I mean, there's no getting around Jimi Hendrix. And so after I told you the story, I was over by the Moody Theater at the venue right next to it for a band that was playing there that night, and walked up, and this young lady, which I can say everyone is a lot younger, and she had on a t-shirt, Jimi Hendrix, with his guitar, and it was the exact date at Hollywood Bowl that I was there and saw him. And it was just like mind blowing. And even for the lady that had the t-shirt on, I said, can my friend take our picture? So she said, yeah, sure. She couldn't believe I was actually saw Jimi Hendrix live. And, so there I was with her and took a picture of the t-shirt. So it was really serendipitous, pretty funny, but that's how things happen in life. They just happen,
Right?
right?
They do. And like that's why I think the messaging of this song, like that's why I think 42 years later, that's something to note. Like the song came out in 1981 and it's a song that everybody still knows, and it's for reasons like that. Like a message like don't stop believing, I think is eternally enduring, right? Like whether you heard it for the first time when you were 7 or 27 or 57, like this song will carry on for always. And it's for reasons like, the story you just shared, like you never know who you're going to meet or who you're going to run into or who has an interesting experience to share with you, or that you might be able to do the same for somebody else. And that's why I love talking with other people. That's why I love doing it through music, because I think it's such a natural way to bridge any gaps that we might perceive we have between other humans. There really aren't that
No.
many. And when we can focus on the things that bring us together, it feels like that always feels like a positive interaction to me. And I think at the end of the day, that's what a song like Don't Stop Believin' is saying to me, at least.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I have one other little side note on Journey and Don't Stop Believin'.
Yeah.
Because the album was so popular and the song. And I visited a friend up in San Francisco twice a year. I lived in Southern California at that time in the 80s. And we would put on headphones and sit in her window box and enjoy the view of the city and listen to Jefferson Airplane and Journey and so forth. So one day we got the idea, we have to meet them. So we got out the phone book, the yellow pages,
No.
and we went to Journey. We just looked up Journey, and there was a phone number listed in the phone book, which no one knows what a phone book is anymore, but that's beside the point. And we called.
Oh,
yeah,
my
we
gosh.
left a message. We didn't get a return phone call, but still, it's taking the chance, doing the, not so obvious, and like, hey, let's see if we can get a hold of Journey.
I love that. And I can't tell you, it's funny. It's like just sliding into somebody's DMs now, right? Like that was the phone, like that's the phone book of today.
Right.
That's what you did. You slid into Journey's DMs.
Yes, we did. We did. And we heard a lot of good music there, of course, in San Francisco too during that time. But, yeah.
Amazing. And that album, like you said, the album, for those of you that don't know, again, it came out in 1981. It's called Escape, and it features not only Don't Stop Believin', but one of my favorite Journey songs, a song called Stone in Love, Who's Crying Now, Open Arms. That's another one that people know, a big Journey hit. So definitely give the Escape album a listen if you haven't, or if it's been a minute, because I went back and re-listened to the whole album when I saw that this was your pick, and I was like, man, this is a good album. I forgot it. And the last note I'll leave you with on Don't Stop Believin' is, you may think you want to try this song for karaoke. Don't. As someone who's attempted, don't. Like, it sounds fun until you get to the end and you realize that Steve Perry had a pretty insane vocal range.
Very insane. Yes, I was singing it to here at home the other day and went, it's time to stop, Pat. Just listen and dance.
Right. And that's fun too. That's always fun too. Well, when I listened to your picks, they really inspired me, because I was thinking, like, these songs are so celebratory and they have such an uplifting message. And so I was trying to think of songs that did that for me, or songs that resonated in a way that felt important when I heard them. And I don't use that word. I chose that word carefully. But really, that's the songs. There are songs in my life that I consider important. There are songs that mean something to me. They matter. And I would go so far even as to say, like, I don't know that I would be who I am without them. And again, that sounds dramatic maybe, but it's true. It's really, it's how I feel. And this is one of those songs. And again, your playlist sort of inspired me to think about songs that made me feel that way. And this is one of them. This is Wide Open Spaces by the Chicks. So, I mean, this is a song that, to me, it just, like I said, your list was filled with two songs that really inspire you to lead your best life. And this is one for me. Like from the first moment I heard it, I felt like it was written for me. And I think a lot of people
Yes.
felt that way. I think that's what made it such a huge hit. But even the way it opens, who doesn't know what I'm talking about? Who's never left home? Who's never struck out to find a dream and a life of their own?
Yes.
Right? Like it's sort of it's everything we all
Right.
want.
Well, a majority of people, I've run into a few that are afraid, and it's like, no, go out there, go to the wide open spaces.
Yeah, and I also too love that lyric also, like it's room, like you need to go to a wide open space because you need room to make your big mistakes. I love that this song focuses as much on making mistakes as it does on branching out on your own, because the two are never independent of one another in my experience,
never independent of one another. You're so right.
And that's where the magic happens. That's where the growth happens. That's where I feel like we're really given the gifts that we need to kind of level up in adulthood. Do you agree with that? What do you think about that? I'm so interested. I feel like you've got so much wisdom and I want to know everything. But what do you think about that? The mistakes aren't in vain, right?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And what I've learned many things, but one of the things I've learned in the decades I've been around here is that it keeps changing. Life keeps changing. The good, the bad, the indifferent. You ride the wave. You just take it on down and glide for a while, and then, rough weather comes. But I always thought as I was growing up that things would, all of a sudden, I'd know it all. And it would just settle in, and then I'd have a few decades left of being settled in. No, not at all. Just keep riding the waves.
And you're glad, right? You're glad that it's still choppy water out there and you're not just settled in, right?
I mean,
like you seem glad. You seem super happy.
I'm always similar. I'm always changing, but I'm doing something about it. And I don't want to get stagnant. I want to learn something new. I want to do something new and enjoy it. But some things fall off the list. It's like, okay, I tried that. It's time to move on. Just do it. Just try it. Just do it. And through your life, no matter what your age is, that never stop believing.
Yes. It's so true. And don't be afraid to go to as big a space as you need to make as big a mistake as you need, because that's where you learn. And as long as you're not hurting others or yourself, you got a lot of space to make those kinds of mistakes and learn and grow from them. So I've always loved that song or this song for that reason. I feel like it does. Like it doesn't only glorify and encourage getting out there and doing your own thing. It also encourages and makes room for not being perfect.
Right.
At that thing.
Right. Because sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, but you'll never know unless you try.
It's true. And then that led me to again, thinking about all of the songs that made an impact. This is another one. My second pick for this week is a song called See the World by Gomez.
Yes.
This is the second time a Gomez song has been featured on the show. I think on an episode I did with my good friend Brian Black, we talked about a song called Whippin' Piccadilly that's also by Gomez. And these guys are a band that I love. They're a large band. They're a big group, and they have many great songs. And this one is one of my favorites. I love the themes. And, we talked a little bit about lyrics earlier in the show and how much I love them. And we've gotten into a few of them here in our previous songs, but if you really want to dig into lyrics on the tracks on this playlist, I encourage you to definitely do it with See the World. I think that there are so many encouraging and uplifting words in this song. What did you think about this one, Pat? Was this a song that you knew? Was it new to you?
I had heard it before. I wasn't real familiar with it, but I totally enjoyed the background, the music, the horns, the whole thing that goes with that type of a song. that makes it uplifting. And it also reminded me a lot of the Mavericks in a way. And so, yeah, no, very good. But see the world. See whatever your world is. It doesn't, whatever your world is, go see it.
That's so true. That doesn't mean you have to have, bazillions of dollars to go travel around the world. Your world is whatever's outside your own front door, and I love that this song starts out, the very opening line says, day to day, where do you want to be? What a great question, right? Like if you don't know where you want to be, how are you ever going to get there? And I think so many of us spend time thinking about where I have to be or what I have to do. And so I try and really, when I hear this song again, it's always a great reminder for me to kind of start my day thinking about that day to day. Where do I want to be? And I think you kind of start manifesting that, right? Whether intentionally or unintentionally, if you put some energy into thinking about that question, I think it's a good one. I don't think it's never going to feel like wasted energy to put some time into thinking about where you want to be day to day,
absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And I had always wanted to be involved in doing things like you're doing. And so from the classes, I took, met quite a few great people, including yourself. And it takes,
thank you.
Takes whoever you are, took me down that different avenue that I had been trying to manifest. Right. So just go out and do something, and you never know where it'll turn around in a circle and get you where you wanted to go,
Yeah. Exactly. And I love that the song too talks about, there's another lyric that says, and when all's been said and done, it's the things that are given, not won, are the things that you earned. And I'm like, that's again so true. Like whether that thing is feedback or a mistake or a lesson from the universe, those are gifts given to help you grow, and you earned that growth and hopefully turned it into wisdom. So you can have trophies and a nice car and stuff like that. But to me, those are things that are won, and they're important too. But you earned all the lessons, and the real kind of magic or the paying it forward is kind of what you're going to do with them. And that's what this song encompasses for me. It's hopeful and it's empowering, and you can get back up and you can change, but you have to make that happen, and then it leads you right back to that original question, day to day, where do you want to be? Right. So it feels like it's that messaging is just all there and all encompassed in one really fun Gomez song that sounds uplifting and happy, and then has really great messaging, I think, to back it up.
Yeah, so well said. I mean, definitely well said there. We're in charge of our destiny, good, bad, or indifferent, and let's keep it good and keep it going and keep it fresh.
Yeah, I agree. And I am so glad that I was finally able to get you to join me on the show today, Pat. And I know you're working on a show of your own.
Yes.
I cannot wait to see how that pans out, because like I said, you're one of those people that instantly upon meeting, I'm like, wow, not only do I have so much fun speaking with this woman, I have so much to learn from her and so much to share. So I can't wait for everyone else to be able to experience that as well. So thank you for taking time with me today. And listeners, I will be sure and post links as soon as we have info on Pat's podcast. I'll make sure that I get those up and shared so that you all can follow her
thank
as
you.
well.
Thank you so much, Jenn.
Of course. And please be sure to follow, download, and share this show with everyone you know and all the people that you'd like to know. Because as Pat and I have demonstrated today, music is a great way to connect. And to stay informed on all things What Are You Listening To and Super Awesome Mix, please follow us on Instagram at Super Awesome Mix. Thanks for listening, and please join me again next week to find your new favorite song.